It'll be the focus of the station at the STRI research days, so anybody that attends those events will see the trial, and they'll be able to hear myself and Colin and maybe these guys talking about the trial, and it'll run through the autumn and winter and into the spring. Anybody who's interested in the trial work can get in touch with any one of us, to be honest. You know, we're quite happy to hear from people.
And what do you hope to find, Peter?
Well, ideally we hope that actually what looks like a reasonable plan last year, because it did better than the curative approach, actually repeats itself again, because as we've already said, every year is different. So I think we're not looking to change things around dramatically, because the programmes that we were looking at were using products we hoped would have a long-term future. So the series we'll be looking at will be directly comparable with what we did last year.
Would you agree with Peter?
Yeah, I mean, more of the same really. Like Mark says, you learn. I mean, obviously we know you can more or less bet that this autumn will be different from last. You just can't predict what it's going to be, unfortunately. But the reality is, every year we do R&D on these kind of trials. You know, even sometimes when trials don't work as well as you expect, actually getting a bad result isn't necessarily negative, because you can look at it and analyse and think, right, was that product timing, product rate? Sometimes what appears bad result in research is almost more valuable than a good result. But in this case, it's just continuing the same, dropping some of the older actives, looking at some more non-pesticidal materials to try and, you know, use those products in combination, interspersed with a fungicide. So you have a fungicide down, a couple of weeks later you're putting a non-pesticidal mix down, so you're keeping the pressure against the pathogen, stopping it establishing in that critical period. So I'm sure that will be the objective, and hopefully this time next year we'll find out whether it worked or not.
Yeah, and reinforcing the message, isn't it, that we're already trying to get out there, but the more data you have, the better position you're in to convince people to adjust their approaches to disease management.